And here's that example here. That's like dried sourdough. Let's get to it. Alright, so to end up with a sourdough discard in this form where it's dried up and it can last for months to years, you're going to need a jar of your sourdough starter, some kind of brush, and parchment paper. So what I like to do is I like to dip my brush into my sourdough. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but trying to get it mixed up. And then I like to pour it out on the sheet and then spread it out with the brush, which I'll kind of show you a little bit too here shortly. Alright, so as you can see, I'm kind of pouring this out sloppily, but still pouring it out in the end. You don't really need too much, so don't worry about pouring out too much. Like I said, like if you have extra, like you just take out more parchment paper. And as you can see, like this is a sourdough starter that's been going for about a month now. Just kind of constantly feeding it and discarding it, and luckily this is one of the ways you can discard it. Look at all those awesome bubbles there. But yeah, you take your brush and you're just gonna spread it across. Of course, this is pretty hard to do just while holding the camera, but oh nice. Look at me. Think I'm on my brain. But yeah, just use this brush and kind of that's what I do. I've just kind of found it easier just to kind of like stroke it across the parchment paper, and you want to kind of get it a bit thin, but it's not that big of a deal if you don't get it thin. One thing I've noticed is that like if it's not thin enough, it won't dry as quickly. So like the thing that makes this process very interesting to me is that like it typically takes like a day or two, and the way I do it is, like I said, I spread it out and then kind of get it pretty thin, and then I'll leave it on a pan, and then I'll put it in my oven, and I won't cook it or anything, but I'll just let it sit there for like a day or two, and if I have to cook or something, I'll take it out the oven. But after a while it'll eventually dry up, and it dries up at just these little shards, kind of like this, which I'll show you shortly. So yeah, here's an example of that, and this is what I mean by them being pretty thick. Like these probably took like 2 or 3 days to dry, or like little bits like that. You can barely even see it, but it's like breaking in my hand. Like that stuff ended up drying pretty quickly. But that's why I say it's just important to kind of thin it out as much as you can. But like I said, it's not a deal breaker, as you can see from this. It just takes more time, and like you'll know when it's ready because it'll just be dry. Like I typically like, the reason I like using parchment paper is that it'll stick there, but it won't stick too long. And then afterwards, you can like crinkle the parchment paper into a ball, and it'll definitely save the process and make it easier to pour into into a glass like you see I did there. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is what it typically looks like next day. Just a few more days of waiting. All right, here is the finished product. This is about 24 hours afterwards, and as you can see, when I press on it, it breaks apart. And like I said, this is pretty thin. This is occurring pretty, like this drying process occurred pretty fast, and Like, it should break down pretty easily. And just for a little cutaway, this is me using my food processor, and like I said, getting it nice and turned into dust. So that way when I add water, it should be a lot easier to restart the sourdough starter. Just re-wake it up. But yeah, I learned that process like early on into sourdough just because I just wanted to make sure that like I could always like have sourdough. And I've had like my sister-in-law, like I gave her some like that way, because you know you can't necessarily take sourdough on a plane with you because she had to travel back to like a different part of the country and stuff like that. So if you really want to like share sourdough with somebody, or you want to like I don't know, like prep like for the end of the world or something, like you can like put it into a couple jars. Like I got a couple jars in my pantry that I kind of save up stuff with. So yeah, you can just kind of like, the possibilities are endless, and whenever you're ready for it to like turn back into it, like I would suggest just adding a little water. And one of the easier ways to do it, in my opinion, is after you get it broken up into those pieces that I showed you, like you just put it into a food processor or something and just kind of turn that into a powder. And then once you got it like that, then that'll make the process of adding water a little easier. You can add it to the other pieces that I showed you before, but it just takes a little bit longer. But I've resuscitated it like easily that way too. It just, like I said, it takes a little bit longer, but it's entirely up to you. But yeah, that'll be it for right now. I'll keep you guys updated on the latest updates in my garden and stuff. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, or suggestions, I am more than open to it. I'm getting into sourdough. I've loved all the extra time I've spent in the kitchen and like learning with this type of stuff. So if, like I said, if you guys have any suggestions or recommendations or like directions you guys want me to like head in, like please let me know. Otherwise, just subscribe, like, comment, tap that bell notification so you can get a notification anytime I come with videos. I'm gonna try to post more consistently, and I'm trying to get better at like, you know, making videos and stuff. So I appreciate you guys' patience with me, and like I said, like, subscribe, share, and if you have any comments, even if you just want to say like what's up, just say it. I'm down to say what's up back. I try to respond to all my comments, and I try to listen and take each comment in like very thoroughly and thoughtfully. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and have a wonderful rest of your week.